Okay, so for our peppers, it's very simple, just roasted peppers. I'm roasting these whole. Got a few different sweet peppers, Jimmy Nardello's, and I'm not quite sure what these are, just regular sweet frying peppers. And good amount of olive oil. Now again, we're not gonna get this too hot, so I'm not worried about the olive oil burning. We definitely don't want the olive oil smoking. That would be a big mistake. Not too hot. Add our peppers. We can add all these at once. We're gonna go nice and easy. Now, I know it looks like there's a lot in this pan to overcrowd it. It's gonna start to shrink down as they start to cook. But again, low heat, we don't wanna get these too charred because they'll burn on the outside before they cook on the inside. Anyway, often, again, when you're cooking whole vegetables like this, you don't wanna use high heat. Again, the outside will get too charred. We can turn it up later on. If you want a charred pepper, you want it blistered, we can always do that later. And this is a little different than if you were gonna take the peppers and, blister them right on the heat. You could do that as well to roast them. I do that a lot with bell peppers that are larger. And you can cook them right on the flame. It's a really cool way to do it. Char them, put them in a bag, take the skin off. But we're not doing it for this recipe. We're not going to do that. We're just going to kind of just let these cook nice and easy. We're going to give it some little salt, add a little pepper, and then we're going to add onion to this, and we're going to add garlic to this as well. So for the garlic, we're just going to slice it. Okay. And our onion. I know someone's going to comment, why are you using a slicing knife for this? It's the first knife I grabbed. No reason. Absolutely no reason. It does the job. So you see, even on low heat, it will brown. All right? Everybody thinks you have to have high heat to brown. You don't. We have our onion and garlic prep, but I'm going to add, I'm going to wait a little longer for these peppers to cook, and then I'm going to add the onion and let those cook. At the very end, I'm going to add the garlic. The garlic, if I added the garlic now, it'll burn. Garlic burns very, very quickly, and when garlic burns, it gets really bitter. And so I'm going to wait till the very, very end and just add that. It's going to really perfume the onions. Perfume the peppers and the onions. It doesn't need to cook that much. I want to keep it not necessarily raw, but I want it to be pretty assertive. So the peppers are, you see they're starting to brown up. They're starting to collapse, and that's what we're looking for when they actually collapse a little bit. So they're getting there. All right. So we're going to add the red onion, little red onion. I'm not going to add the garlic yet, just the red onion. And I'm going to give it a little splash of sherry vinegar. If you don't have sherry vinegar, red wine vinegar is fine. If you don't have red wine vinegar, cider vinegar is fine, white wine vinegar is fine, any kind of vinegar is fine. And this is also another one of these dishes where you can finish this in the oven. Right now, if I wanted to pop this in the oven, you can do that, but I have a roast in the oven, so I'm going to keep it on top of the stove. The other thing, if you're cooking for a holiday, this could be done well in advance. This could be done the day before if you want to, and you can even leave it out overnight. It's just peppers and onions. Nothing's really going to go bad. If you don't like that, you can pop it in the refrigerator, take it out, and just warm it up. But this can be done if you're doing your meal. This can be done in the morning. You can put it aside and heat it up later. It's also just perfect room temperature too. I always like to have roasted peppers on hand in the house because they're great for sandwiches. They go well with so many different things, especially at the end of the summer. Peppers are really abundant. I just like to have them around. They're a good treat. You can also take a few of these, mix it with some arugula, a little Parmesan cheese, squirt of lemon, some olive oil, makes for a nice salad. But it also works really well with any roast at all, but especially beef. Great with pork. If I had a pork chop, you can roast a few pork chops. Add the cooked peppers, already cooked, to the pan when the pork chops are just about done. Add I like a little sherry vinegar, and then if you want to spice it up a little bit, add something like chili crunch or some other kind of hot pepper. The other thing I like to do is use hot cherry peppers that are already pickled, jarred, ready to go. But these are sweet peppers, so there's no heat at all. But if you had hot peppers, you can treat them the same way. Onions are cooking, and again, these onions, I'm going to stop these right before they're cooked through. I don't want them to completely cook through. Now, I want these peppers still cooked a little bit longer before I add the garlic. But you can see how they're, again, when I say collapsing on themselves, this one's brown, collapsing a bit. This one's kind of flattened out. That's what we're looking for. These are still a little on the raw side. But also you see low temperature and they're still browning. If I were to do this on a higher heat, these would have been already burnt. So the peppers are, they're at this point pretty much cooked through. Onions are, again, starting to brown up a little bit. And so it's time to add the garlic. So we'll just add our garlic. And the other thing I want to add is a little bit of fresh rosemary. Not too much rosemary, just a little bit to perfume it. And I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil. And another splash of the sherry vinegar. A bit more salt. And that's pretty much it. That's it. These are roasted peppers, red onion, garlic, and rosemary and sherry vinegar.